What's up, friends and foes? Welcome to Let's Get Nerdy. My name is Corey.
And I'm Wyatt, and welcome back finally to another episode of Go-Go-Godzilla, the series where we go through every movie in the Godzilla franchise to decide which one of them truly is
King of them all. And yes, as of the last episode we recorded was Godzilla Final Wars, and we had found at that time that Shin Godzilla was nowhere to be found in terms of places you could watch it, because it used to be on Crunchyroll, it used to be on Funimation, and for some reason it was no longer available on there. And so we just kind of were like, all right, I guess we're not finishing this series, until one day we saw the announcement with the wonderful, beautiful 4K poster. That they'd be bringing it back to theaters for us, because I believe this is the 10th anniversary in 4K. And so, as always, we do like to try to get into some history and background with this movie before we start dissecting our, I guess, quote-unquote modern thoughts. Why, I'll go and start with you. What is your history with this film?
Nothing. Nada. I had never seen this movie before. I guess I don't know. I remember it coming out. I remember the previews coming out. I remember you messaging me on Facebook about it, actually. Mm-hmm. And I think we said, damn, that's a scary looking Godzilla. Mm-hmm. And then I never watched it. I never went to go see it if it was in theaters. I'm sure it was. I don't know. But I never saw it on Blu-ray or streaming or anything since then. So I didn't see it in theaters either. Okay. I've seen it once. I had to rent it on Amazon. But it the only theater showing it had here that I know of in our area of like Kansas City was during a Japanese film festival up at the Alamo Draft House in Kansas City. Okay. And I did not go to it. I knew people who did, or knew people who ended up seeing it in theaters, but I didn't see this in theaters. And I've seen it once, and I liked it when I saw it. I think I had forgotten quite a bit of it by the time, so this did feel, for the most part, like a first viewing again. I got you. And so I guess with that we'll just kind of roll into it. I guess what are your thoughts and impressions on Shin Godzilla? Well, I guess so. First off, I'm glad to have finally seen it. That's exciting. Mm-hmm. It was exciting walking into the theater and the whole day leading up to it. Yeah, which was fun in and of itself. So, and I guess going into it, I had some I don't want to say high expectations, but I guess a preemptive thought about it, because I think this movie has, at least to me, seems like it has a lot of hype on the internet. Mm-hmm. And not that I've read about it a lot, but I've seen pictures or clips or people talking about it, and you see this version of Godzilla quite often. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be pretty high on people's lists of movies, so I guess that did give it some kind of a high expectation. And I gotta say, it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, I guess, in terms of pacing and how just the movie unfolds. But then it also kind of was what I thought it was going to be. Okay. At the same time, being a little bit more on the serious side, and the more it was a little bit more focused on the drama and horror of Godzilla. Okay. And that kind of stuff, and the human element of it. So, but I guess to kind of wrap that crazy mess of thought up, I liked it. But I don't think I liked it as much as I was expecting myself to like it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. This is definitely a movie that I think has its... I feel like this is a movie that you either kind of love it or you kind of hate it.
I can see that.
Because of just how straightforward and dry it is.
Yeah.
It is a very dry and dense movie with everything that's going on, especially compared to, the 29 others that are fairly straightforward. It's and personally, I think I love this one. I found myself in this second viewing loving it. There were definitely moments where I felt like the more bureaucratic meeting scenes started to kind of take a little bit longer than I think they needed to. So a lot of this movie, if you haven't seen it, delves around it. So the director, the name escapes me, but the director actually is the creator of an anime called Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
Which is, as an anime itself, is something that, how to say this, is an anime that is very much known for turning tropes and being on their heads and being very like, because it's all like mech based and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so it like purposely like plays with the I guess the genre, and like the more it goes on, the weirder it gets.
Okay.
Similar to this one. And this is actually we don't have our facts prepared, but there's just enough I know about this movie that I think I can sneak it in here. But this plot was actually based around a couple different things that I think, one is obvious. It's very clearly, I think, Godzilla is an allegory for like climate change. And that, but also the bureaucracy that led to the nuclear disaster in 2011 in Japan. I don't know if you remember
Fukushima.
Yes. Yeah. And just kind of the bureaucracy and the lack of response that led to that being as disastrous as it was. So with that, this movie deals with Godzilla is a consistent moving forward threat that is not, because it's not dealt with in a timely manner, because the levels of bureaucracy that they're going through to properly take care of this situation, the problem of Godzilla grows and becomes more disastrous throughout the movie. And that's where like a lot of times I actually do really like the boardroom scenes, like especially the first ones, kind of as like they're literally like one piece of information has to pass through 5 people to get to the prime minister. And the really hilarious scene where he's like at the press conference being like, don't worry, there's nothing to be like, if it can't make landfall, it can't support its own weight, to then literally being like, oh, it made landfall.
Like immediately.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to get your thoughts on before I guess we get too far into the plot or anything like that is because I was specifically waiting for Godzilla to make his way onto the bay to see what your reaction to is. What did you think about the visuals of Godzilla?
In this one? I think they really hit the horror of it.
Yes.
He's creepy and kind of disgusting looking.
It's like if Godzilla was a body horror in a way.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Yeah. I think there's a lot of body horror in this, and I don't know if that was like, I assume maybe like a play on the effects of radiation and like just how kind of grotesque it can be, I guess, possibly.
Especially like, I don't know why the thing that stuck out to me is like when he's like first making landfall and like evolving past the gills, is like how he's like just vomiting blood all over these people. Disgusting, incredible. I don't know why that's a visual that's like, I think I will think about every now, like consistently.
Yeah, I mean he's a very like it's a very shocking version of Godzilla, and that it definitely sticks with you, and like it definitely like he looks super scary, and like once he's finally I guess to his final form, if you will, and he looks like our stereotypical Godzilla. Like just his face is pretty menacing.
Yeah. So it looked like the typical Godzilla, but it's like one of those things like, but the more you look at it, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like one of those pictures.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it looks, that's like, they almost position him in a way of like the way he operates, of like everything he does looks like it's painful to him.
Yeah.
Like very much a creature that should not exist and does not want to exist.
Yeah. And that's something that I had read online quite a bit, or seen people talking about, is like how it looks like he's hurting, which he's causing all this mayhem, but like he probably just wants it to stop.
He's scared.
And he's scared and trying to find some kind of comfort and find a way out or away from what's harming him and stuff. And so he's I mean, he looks like molten like lava, you know, kind of in a sense, and he does look like a force of nature
Yeah.
also. And he looks like something like it made me think of like playing Doom and seeing like the big demons and like just the creatures off in the distance.
Okay.
Like he just has like a menacing presence, and but he's super cool looking and super unique. And this is a Godzilla that's definitely, you know, he's so unique, and
Yeah.
like you can very quickly tell him apart from any other
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I will also say probably one of my favorite roars, like my favorite roars of like the modern, like post 2010
Yeah,
Godzilla.
yeah.
Um,
It sounded a lot like the -1 roar.
yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if it was meant to like mimic the original one in a sense.
I think so, because that's what another thing. What I really loved about this movie is I feel like this was the most one-to-one of like not recreation, but re-evoking what the imagery of the first movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene in particular, I guess, and we can just start jumping into the rampage scenes, because the rampage scenes, what I love about them is they're few and far between, but they're done so effectively that, like, particularly the middle one, where it is very reminiscent of Godzilla from the first one showing up in Tokyo Bay and discovering how destructive he truly can be, because this is when you first get his, like, the reveal of his atomic breath in this movie is fucking incredible.
Oh yeah.
Of like, because I think that's at the point that the U.S. bombers are
They
like,
had just hit him.
Yeah. And just watching him obliterate everything, and it ending with the skyline of Tokyo again burning
on
with
fire.
the silhouette of Godzilla as he's still like,
yeah.
Incredible.
Oh yeah. I mean, this movie had some great imagery and great shots, and I mean just some really fun camera work also, like where it would change perspectives and kind of like it would flow. Like at one point the camera, I think, was on a chair being rolled across the floor where they were setting up a meeting and stuff, and they did some, it was fun. Like it kept you engaged, and but yeah, to go back to the I guess that scene in particular, like that, like it looked like, I feel like I keep making this similar reference, but it looked like hell, you know? Like it just, like, everything was dark and on fire, and like he was just this massive, ominous,
devilish looking
creature, and like just like a red glow here and there, and to like seeing him when he's bent over and like he first starts like expelling that gas or whatever it is, and to see it flow through all the streets and then ignite, that, I don't know, that was crazy. That was it was super cool. That was almost like scarier, I think, than like when the purple lasers came out, like out of his back and all that.
Yeah.
And it was, I guess it was interesting how they could like target things.
Yeah.
And like he was able to knock out the rockets and stuff.
Yeah.
With those. But that just didn't, I don't know, that didn't evoke like fear, you know. It was cool, but the smog or gas or whatever it was, you know, and that stuff being ignited, that was like, I don't know, that was like horrific. And
I agree. And what I really liked about all that is the sequencing of like him opening up and the like the gas and the flame kind of billowing out, and then stepping up into the like lasering focus and getting that and it's straight up, like, I feel like kind of looking very much like the early atomic breath of like of the original one, and then stepping up into the fucking back. Because I've seen it, like I said, I've seen the movie before, so I knew it was coming. I specifically looked at you to see what your reaction was gonna be, and you you like were like, oh shit. I think that was the one oh shit moment that happened for you in this movie. And I liked that because it was very much the like building on this feeling of like, what the like, if you're in, you know, the people of Japan being like, what the fuck is happening next? Like, what's gonna, like, you know,
like how much worse could this possibly get? Because it just keeps getting worse. But you're right, it did stair step very nicely. So,
and then you get the U.S. pilots being like, "Oh shit," kind of like themselves, you know.
And then it was cool, like how once he had expelled that energy and stuff, that he just kind of like shut down.
Yeah.
And then there was this like doomsday clock of how long do we have before he wakes back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have that much time to figure out a plan. So, and then there's a lot of stakes, a lot of pressure in this movie because they're fighting the time frame of like when Godzilla can wake up or when he's going to wake up and start just wrecking the city again.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're also fighting the timeline of the UN wants to just fucking nuke him.
Yeah.
Which seems kind of like a boneheaded idea. Like he runs off of radiation and they want to nuke
him. Like just superpower him. Yeah. Which one was it that's that? Oh, there was another one that happens. Where like doesn't like Godzilla blows up the right? Does that sound familiar?
It sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you for certain.
I want to say that's Godzilla versus Megaguirus. Where like somebody has launched a missile to destroy Godzilla, but they're trying to do this in
the black hole thing.
There's the black hole thing. We haven't watched any of these movies.
Surprise.
Which one? But that sounds.
It sounds familiar, but they all kind of blend together. And
especially since the last one we watched was 5 months ago.
Well, yeah. I can't pinpoint which one that might be.
I guess I will have a note somewhere here.
It'll be here somewhere.
If I've figured it out.
Perhaps right here. Yeah, no, but
that's gonna bother me for the rest of the video, so I'm gonna have to move on.
Okay. I guess just to talk about, because I said it wasn't what I expected when you asked me what my initial thoughts of it, and I guess by that, like I mentioned pacing, and one of those things being how fast this movie starts.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to slow down. I guess I was expecting it to be more of a slow, drawn out start into more of a fast paced movie, and I guess I guess I had thought like the evolution, because I knew he evolved throughout the movie, and I guess I thought that would start on a much smaller scale and work up into full blown Godzilla, but it didn't take that long to get there, and it seemed like the board meetings, like you really felt the pressure of like the prime minister and everyone involved in those scenes, and like how fast they were pushing all of that and how chaotic that was. So I thought that was pretty cool, and like you talked about the allegory of what's the word I want, not democracy, bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And how much that can impact natural disasters or responses to such things. So that was all really cool to see.
Yeah, and then that was all very cool to see. Another thing that I really found I loved is, and this is something that they've done before in other Godzilla movies, where like the death toll was kept kind of pretty low, but anytime there was a notable death, they like found ways to make you like stick with it, where you are actively involved with. So like the best example is when Godzilla is still kind of evolving and like scooting through on his belly and stuff like that. There's like the family trying to like pack and evacuate their apartment as Godzilla like rise up against their building, and you are in the apartment as it falls and collapses. And like I think that is just, I think, really, how do I say, like plays into the brutality of these, making it feel like more a disaster than maybe some of the, like the 2014 movie, which would have,
it's less big monster like spectacle, fighting other big monster, and it's definitely more of like this is a natural disaster or like a force of nature that like you just can't stop it,
so that is where I do think this one is the most akin and has the most in common with the original one compared to say a Godzilla 2000, where
Yeah.
Godzilla 2000 we fucking love,
Oh,
but
yeah.
isn't really trying to say much, or
No,
it's like,
it's just
hey,
fun.
Godzilla fight big old guy.
Yeah. Godzilla fight Big Rock.
Yeah.
Big Space Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, -1 does a pretty good job of it,
Mhm.
but I do think you're right in that this one definitely, like, it evokes that, like, awareness or, like,
Yeah.
fear of, like, global warming and climate change and,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff, and it's still nuclear,
Mhm.
fears too. I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit, but, like,
Yeah, no.
the fact that his tail has a laser too was pretty interesting.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And then talking about his tail, like, the closing shot of the movie when the camera pans up the tail and there's, like, these
Yeah.
little creatures or skeletons,
Yeah.
like, climbing up or out of his tail. That
Yeah.
was pretty spooky, but also pretty cool.
It was super.
So-
What a fucking way to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess again we're still jumping around because that was a fucking great last frame to end on.
Yeah.
The getting back to the pacing of it and stuff like that. I do like that there is kind of like a consistent feeling of like we need to like keep working because we have, and I like the idea of the 15-day time frame. I kind of was hoping like, or I feel like, and this is actually a criticism I think you could levy towards -1 as well, where like it would have been, I think, a little bit more compelling or like interesting if like somehow they weren't expecting Godzilla to wake up.
Oh yeah.
He woke up sooner than they were ready, or the attack
Yeah.
came sooner than than they were prepared for.
Yeah, because it did seem like they had it down. Like, on one hand, they were all like, "We have no idea what this thing is," but then they were also like, excuse me, they had it so nailed down to like the second in which he should be waking up and moving again.
Well, and that's kind of where I do think after that middle, because that middle attack where he's like in the fourth form is to me like the crown jewel of this movie, of like that is like 20 minutes of just fucking like incredible filmmaking, very like edge of your seat, like any stereotypical poster quote you can put on it is applied here. It's incredible. But then after that, when it's just as incredible when they're like, the prime minister and his cabinet, like entire cabinet is killed. And that's another one of the deaths that you are with it when it happens.
Yeah.
And that scene where like they get, it's the minister of agriculture who ends up taking over the prime minister. Yeah, that's what I believe so. But like very clearly, like, a guy who's like, I was not meant to be here. And then you have I forget his name, but like the main protagonist that you're following as he gets his group of people together, and they're like, they refocus on what needs to happen in the immediate.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, we have projected 15 days.
Yeah.
I was already like, fuck, 15 days? We gotta wait that long? And then like, I think they like, again, were like, kept the pace up and had like pretty compelling and interesting conversation. And then they're like, all right, we still got like 10 days. I'm like, are you goddamn kidding me?
Yeah.
You still got 10 days?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't help that like the theater we went to see it in had incredibly uncomfortable seats.
Oh, they were horrible.
And then the guy in front of me, I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'5". So I compared to other 6'5" humans, I feel like I scrunch up pretty well. I don't take up as much space as I think I would look like I would. But still, the person who was sitting in front of me, and I was going to try to leave this out, like,
I was going to bring it up.
Kept leaning their seat farther and farther back, taking away more of my leg space, and I kept having to like find ways that I could readjust, and like, so if my ass fell asleep, how can I move my knees so they don't scream in pain as I adjust, and so that certainly didn't help with the pacing.
No, definitely.
I feel like maybe if it was a better paced film, I wouldn't have noticed as much.
Right.
But there was definitely like, anytime Godzilla was on the screen, anytime they were like, things were progressing forward, I was like, boom. But there were definitely scenes where I felt like I had started like noticing like, oh wow, they have like little shapes on the wall. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I had some of those moments too, and I don't think it takes away a little bit, I guess, for me, but it also doesn't ruin anything for me.
No.
Because I think that maybe was kind of part of the point.
Yeah.
But I do think there's some fat that could have been trimmed in this movie. But I guess like the theater experience itself and what I was going to bring up, I'm going to bring it up anyway, about like, just fucking be courteous when you're in the movies. Just be courteous.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Because that guy kept like leaning further and further back into you, and then the guy that was in front of, he was in front of me. He kept trying to lean back.
Yeah.
And I had my knee up there at some point. He kept like bouncing and bumping my knee, and I kind of bumped back a little bit, and then he quit for a second, and then my ass got uncomfortable, so like I moved and had my foot up on my knee.
Yeah.
And then he kept bumping into that, and like I pushed once, and he quit for a little bit, and like I don't know, it took me out of the movie is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
this isn't like oh look at me pushing the guy in the seat. It's not that at all. I could have just said something, but I didn't. But it just took me out of the movie, and then like the dude behind me, I'm gonna bitch for like 2 more seconds, and then I'll be done. The dude behind me, there was a point in which Godzilla was like active, like atomic breath is happening. Shit is loud, and I could still hear this dude crunching his popcorn behind me, like he was, I don't know, like gonna die of starvation.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I heard him too. In I will say in his defense, I'm always so terrified of like like literally the beginning of this movie is silent. Like when the like Toho Productions logo starts playing,
Yeah.
it is silent, and I all I heard was myself going and like I like took 2 bites of popcorn and had to like sit there and
I heard
like,
you stop. Like,
yeah, I had to sit there and like suck on the kernels till they were gone. So then I was like, okay, I have to wait for an attack to like, and then Godzilla like came like exploding through the tunnel. So I was like, eat my popcorn then. So you know, me and that guy, we're part of a brotherhood. Well, we gotta eat. You know.
Well, he didn't care. He just let her go.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I say all that to say, just I think being courteous is important because it affects people's experience in the movies, and we all paid money to see it. So now's that I'll get off my soapbox and shut up now.
Yeah. So I guess just kind of to move towards wrapping it up. So some other negatives I do have with the movie that I think is going to hurt it in its ranking, is every actor who speaks of English in this,
oh god,
either American or not, is fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
I forget her name, but the main lady who was like the American liaison, is supposed to be American, speaks a fluent, beautiful Japanese. When she's speaking Japanese, is doing an incredible job.
Oh yeah, it's lovely.
But then when she is speaking in English and is supposed to be an American, cannot act her way out of a paper bag. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. Like, but you know what? Good on her for trying.
Yeah.
And then the Americans show up, and the Americans also, the one guy's like, just as I thought.
Yeah.
Godzilla. And like, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
It's the most like obnoxiously stereotypical, like just oh god, it was bad.
Yeah.
Well, and those guys more so than her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even some of like the pilots that were American, like they just, oh god, it was not.
Yeah, I'll be going around to his back.
Yeah. I'm moving into position. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not great.
Not great, but
I don't think it didn't ruin anything. But I noticed it too.
It didn't ruin anything, but it like made me like laugh. It I think actually helped my enjoyment because of how bad it was. Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, there's Godzilla. That's the classic Godzilla movie there.
They all have like some campy shit, so
yeah,
that's okay. It's part of the fun. I guess like another thing to talk about is the music in this.
Yes.
There's some really great tracks. I don't know what the fucking track name is, but the one with like the piano is all creepy and spooky
Yeah.
and like dreadful and shit. That one's great. And then it has some like really classic sounding
Yep.
themes and songs in this, like from way back in like old Godzilla movies. That's awesome. I love to see that or hear that, I guess, rather.
Yeah. Well, and then and the operatic like song that's playing when Tokyo is burning is incredible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say not even just the music. I would go even further. Like I already mentioned, I loved the roar. I would say the sound design as a whole, like the stomps. I think I said to you, like I'm pretty sure those stomps were from. It was the same sound effect as the original one, of just kind of like the bass drum, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I really liked that. The sound of the atomic breath is as like when it goes into the laser and it's like it sounds like the shit that the little destroyers are spraying.
Oh yeah. I could see that.
Uh,
It made me think of like one of the mechs or something, like not Mechagodzilla, but like the dude with the mole nose, the pointy nose.
oh, the goat Mogira,
Yeah, no, that is Mogira is correct.
goat Mira.
Goat, no, not that one. But yeah, it made me think of him for some reason. That sound
fair.
effect, anyway. But
I get it. You know, great mech.
No,
10 out of 10.
I don't know that I would go that far, but
I don't know a mech better. Brother lost twice.
yeah, he's still better.
Mogira didn't lose.
Didn't he just fly off into space and like get lost for a while though?
What? No.
Didn't he?
No, he got obliterated. He got destroyed. He was like, remember, because like the dude got like got his leg stuck in like the cockpit and shit. No, the one who got lost in space. Oh shit! There was the episode. Yeah, there was a scene where they fought space guys in space. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Mogira has a losing record too. Let's not. All right. Anyway, we all know the goat Godzilla mech is Jet Jaguar.
He is pretty cool.
He's the only one that has his own song.
But is he
Jet Jaguar?
Is he I guess he's a mech. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
we're not off topic at all.
No. What the fuck were we talking about?
I don't fucking know. We were talking about sounds, and then we because that then led to me talking about okay. All right.
But yes, the music and the sounds were incredible. Music choices. I love that it opened with the same like Godzilla roar in black and white like opening title, which is just always a treat.
Yeah, it is. I guess with that too, I feel like now that we have seen the Toho like studios opening thing, a few times. I don't. This might just be me, but I feel like seeing the Toho Studios logo on the screen, it's got the shiny lights and all that kind of stuff. That to me like evokes the same level of happiness that seeing Star Wars pop up.
Okay.
For a Star Wars movie evokes. Like it's just such a good feeling.
It's like the old Marvel logo with the flipping comic books.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It just hits like a good sweet spot and just makes me so happy.
Absolutely.
So I love it.
Speaking of makes me so happy, Wyatt, do you have any last thoughts about this movie before we get into what this video is all about?
Last thoughts. I really like it. I think I'll like it more as I digest it and think about it. I will say though I didn't like it as much as I was expecting to. But I did go in with I guess some high expectations. So I'm very glad to have finally seen it though.
Same. I guess seeing it the second time, I liked it more the second viewing. I think my first viewing actually, when we're talking about the pacing issues, I think it was one of those movies where it slowed down enough. I checked my phone and then got lost in my phone for like 10 minutes and missed stuff, which will ruin a movie.
Yeah.
And so with this one, I didn't have that option, and so I felt engaged a lot more. And yeah, I think what this movie does, because it is bold in its choices, and I think all for the better. So I think this one is very impressive at the very least.
It
if
is,
not,
yeah.
like I love it. I definitely think probably not as high as I was expecting it. Like, I did think this was going to be a number one contender. I don't know if it will be now. But that's for the discussion we're going to have
in a second.
right now.
Right now.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording for And now, for one last time, for
now, anyway.
for a good long while, Wyatt, we are going to go ahead and see how this ranks up to every other Godzilla movie in the franchise that's theatrically released. That's not on Netflix because we haven't done those yet. Wyatt, what's on the list currently and how does it shake out?
So, at number 34, god damn, there's a lot of these. At number 34, which this is never going to get replaced, Godzilla 98. Number 33 is Godzilla Raids Again. Number 32 is Godzilla's Revenge. 31, Son of Godzilla. Number 30, The Return of Godzilla. Number 29, The Terror of Mechagodzilla. Number 28, Godzilla vs. Megalon. 27, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. 26, Invasion of the Astro Monster. 25, Godzilla vs. King Kong, or King Kong vs. Godzilla. Number 24, Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. Number 23 is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. 22 is Godzilla from 2014. 21 is Godzilla Final Wars. Number 20 is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah from 91. 19, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. 18, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. 17, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. 16, Destroy All Monsters. 15, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And 14, I don't need to see that right now. It's a football update. Number 14, Godzilla vs. Gigan. There we go. We're on track now. Number 13, Godzilla vs. Biollante. Number 12 is Godzilla Tokyo SOS. And number 11, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Number 10, GXK The New Empire. Number 9, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. Number 8, Godzilla vs. Mothra, The Battle for Earth. Godzilla. Number 7 is Godzilla 2000. Number 6 is Godzilla from 1954. Number 5 is Mothra vs. Godzilla from 1962. And number 4, GMK All Out Attack. Number 3 is Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. Number 2 is Godzilla vs. Destroya. And number 1 still is Godzilla -1.
Woo.
Shit.
So what's so funny about the list being so long now is I know for a fact for the last like 5 entries at the least, I will hit a point where I space out.
Yeah.
And I'll come back in going, surely he's done. And you're like, number 8. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, this shit just goes on
yes,
and on.
Yeah. It's like that 15-day
period
in the movie.
It is.
This is an interesting one. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I forgot we put Final Wars so low.
I was gonna say that while I was reading it.
Haters that day.
I was gonna like make a comment about that, but I remember like how fucking bored I was during that movie.
Yeah,
and Godzilla's not on the screen.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and how how lame the fucking main character is.
Yeah,
and then Don Fry. Yeah,
fucking Don Fry.
So I actually think I have a spot.
Okay.
Because at this spot, every movie above it is a movie I would rather. Actually, okay. So I do have a spot.
Okay.
Every movie above this, I think I would rather watch again, and I think is overall just better movies. If it's not a better movie, I'd rather watch it again.
Yeah, that's fair.
So for me, do you have a spot picked out?
I don't have a spot. I have an idea, and I don't think you're gonna like where I'm looming over.
I'm thinking 7.
Oh Lord!
It pushes Godzilla 2000 down, and it does push down every other. Ooh, do I like? What? So I'm thinking 7, but I'm willing. I'm also feel like 10 to 7 in that range is kind of where I'm feeling, because I think it deserves the credit for, again, kind of how bold and the boundaries it pushes with the Godzilla genre itself. But there are like glaring, like, there are things that if I watch this again, I'd be like, oh god, yeah, we gotta sit through this part again, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, very much so. So you're thinking? Did you settle on one?
So I'm thinking 7, but like the 10 to 7 range is really where like I would say this belongs. Because like I love Godzilla versus Mothra, Battle for Earth. Very, Heisei era is my favorite era.
Yeah.
It's got the coolest fucking Godzilla entrance of them all, the Earth splitting. So you know what? Okay, as I'm talking through it, I think number 10, because I think it's undeniably a better movie than GXK. I think it is a more unique movie. It does like GXK. I think what GXK does, I get better from King of the Monsters 2019.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. That one has the fucking awesome last fight with and then Fire Rodan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like 9, 10 probably. I'm 10 feels right to me.
Okay. So I think like objectively, I think that's a fair spot to put it at, because it does a lot of good things and it does a lot of like very unique things, and it's stood out on its own since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really good movie. But I guess I'm halving my thought here, because on one hand I do think 10 is fair, but the other half of me, I don't think I would go out of my way to watch this movie again above a lot of these other movies.
Okay.
So I'm kind of split on where to put it, and I guess initially, or my spot was going to be 20, just because like
you're gonna put. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah,
you're gonna put Godzilla versus the Sea Monster above this.
You know that's a special movie to me.
I know that's a special movie to you.
Yeah.
Space Godzilla is a special movie to me.
I know.
I'm putting this above Space Godzilla.
But I would watch the Sea Monster every day.
I would watch this. That's crazy.
I would watch this like, if I had to watch all like, if I had to log how much I would watch these movies, I would watch Shin Godzilla like once every couple weeks. But the Sea Monster, fucking love it. But I objectively, I think this movie deserves to be higher than my initial spot, which is why I'm so torn as to like, what do I put it at? That's just where like in my head it landed a little further down than I had expected it to be. And that's why I said it. I knew you weren't gonna like it when I said it.
Well, I'm sticking my flag at 10.
Okay.
You choose a spot. We'll rock paper scissors, and you're gonna get your way anyway.
No, you've won once, I think.
I won like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think. Oh, you know what? I won Space Godzilla. Because I remember I specifically was
Did
like.
you?
Yeah, remember I like specifically put it at one spot above Sea Monster.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Where? I'm gonna stick with what I said, just because like
number 20.
It's a bad spot, and I know it is.
Okay, you know what? I respect. Hey,
But
I respect it. I respect it.
I'm gonna stick with it.
That's
purely from an enjoyment standpoint. So
I totally get it. I will say, in terms of an enjoyment standpoint, I think 10 is solid for me.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess part of it maybe too is like, I don't think this is one that like I would show to somebody. If I was like sending them on a launch point for Godzilla, I don't think this is one I would go with right out of the gate.
So that one's entirely that's a really good question there.
Yeah.
And that really depends on the person. If I'm like,
that's fair. Okay.
If I get one chance to show somebody a Godzilla movie, like this one would be one I consider. I'm like, if you're wanting something different.
Yeah, that's fair. I will give you, that's very dependent upon the person. So
yeah, because I've had people, I guess, random story, like I had somebody at my work recognize, see like I had a -1 shirt on, and they're like, oh, that's all, I love that Godzilla one, and they ended up saying like, oh yeah, Shin Godzilla is fantastic. I was like, oh, I love Shin Godzilla, but this is actually a Godzilla -1 shirt. And they're like, oh yeah, that one, like, I didn't like it as much. So like Shin Godzilla has its fans out there.
Oh yeah.
And there are, I think, people that would lean more to this kind of movie.
Yeah. And that's very fair. I guess like I would lean more towards -1 over Shin Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, yeah, that's why we're arguing for 10 and 20, not
very,
number 1.
very, yeah.
So, okay. So with that, if you're not aware, if me and Wyatt have a disagreement or discrepancy on where a film ranks, we do the scientific method of rock, paper, scissors. One shot, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Whoever wins, and gets their way. And I usually will break my phone afterwards. With that, Wyatt, are you ready?
I'm ready.
One last time, rock, paper, scissors, until the next one is out, which we don't.
Is it minus? Is it -2 or is it -1 2?
Well, they don't have an official name for it. They've announced nothing official for that. The next one that I think is for sure is Godzilla Godzilla X Kong Supernova.
Okay.
And that's 2027. And I'm sure we'll find ways to talk about Godzilla between now and then.
Oh, yeah.
But that's for after rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
So, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No! I even changed up my fucking plan. What's so funny? I kind of wanted you to win. Wait, so then you're voting for 10 if you're saying you wanted me to win?
No, I'm not.
All right.
I'm not changing my vote. I was just... You're correct. Like, you're a more accurate representation of where it should be.
Well, with that...
I just closed my phone. I'm sorry.
The ranking one last time.
I'm sorry.
Number 1 is Godzilla -1. No, I don't. There's no... So, with that, for now, the final ranking...
So sorry.
Of Godzilla, GO-GO-GODZILLA, stands at number 1. Actually, I'll do it the other way. This is more dramatic. Number 35, Godzilla from 1998. Number 34, we have Godzilla Raids Again. At number 33, we have Godzilla's Revenge. At number 32, Son of Godzilla. At 31, that is Return of Godzilla. I believe that's Godzilla 85. Movie?
84.
Yes. 84. Well, 84, but they call it 85.
Yeah.
At number 30, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. At number 29, we have Godzilla vs. Megalon. At number 28, we have Godzilla vs. Smog Monster. That is the worst ranking on this one, by the way. At number 27, we have Invasion of the Astro Monster. The second worst ranking on this.
There's some pretty fucked up rankings on this.
Yeah. Number 26, we have Godzilla vs. King Kong, 1962. At number 25, we have Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. At number 24, we have Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. At number 23, we now have Godzilla 2014. At number 21, we have Godzilla Final Wars. And now, at 20, we have Godzilla... Shin Godzilla. I almost say Godzilla versus... But yeah, Godzilla...
versus Shin.
Shin Godzilla. Goddamn. Number 20 is Shin Godzilla. At number 19... What?
Mm-hmm.
Right, number 19 would Godzilla be... Did I say King Ghidorah 91?
No, not yet.
Oh. So number 21 would be Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 91. Number 20 would be Shin Godzilla. At number 19, we have Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. At number 18, number 18, we have Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. At number 17, we have Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. At number 15, number 16, we have Destroy All Monsters. At number 15, we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, the original from the 70s. At number 14, we have Godzilla vs. Gigan. At number 13, we have Godzilla vs. Biollante. At number 12, we have Godzilla Tokyo SOS. At number 11, we have Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. At number 10, we have Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. At number 9, we have Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. At number 8, we have Godzilla vs. Mothra, Battle for Earth. At number 7, we have Godzilla 2000. At number 6, we have Godzilla, the original from 1954. At number 5, we have Mothra versus Godzilla from 1962. And at 4, we have Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Monsters All Out Attack. At number 3, we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters from 2019. At number 2, we have Godzilla versus Destroya. And at finally, King of them all, it still reigns, Godzilla -1. That is our official ranking. For now, there are movies that are set to come out. Eventually, they have confirmed they're working on a -1 sequel. We have Godzilla Supernova. At some point, we might, if we want to talk about Godzilla, talk about the Netflix movies. I'm not making any promises there. But I'm sure we'll figure out a way to talk about it. But for now, Go-Go-Godzilla, like its namesake, must return to the ocean. And we will see it again. But for now, we, bid it adieu.
With the sunset.
But into the sunset. But that doesn't mean the nerdiness is over. We have, if you haven't checked it out already, we have a bunch of Superman content to check out. We promise we got Fantastic Four stuff coming out and a bunch of other surprises. So please hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below what you think is the best Godzilla movie. If you think we got the ranking correct, if we got it wrong, we did.
We did.
Yeah. Do you have any last words, Wyatt?
Thanks for watching, and hit all the buttons, all the likes and subscribes and all that shit.
Absolutely. So with that, we got to get back to nerding out about Godzilla for one last time. You be good. We'll be back.
Bye.